Great crowd here in Assen. They absolutely love their sidecar racing, but we've got drama. Steve Kershaw and Stuart Clark had an electrical problem. I think they broke down on the warm-up lap, so they won't be lining up here. They're going to have to sit this one out and watch Tim Reeves and the rest of the field gallop to glory here in the sunshine at the 2.83 mile Cathedral of Speed. Reeves and Mark Wilkes, like everyone else, with a 10-lapper ahead of them. Ricky Stevens also lining up in a cloudless sky here. Beautifully sunny weather here in Assen for race 1, 10 laps then ahead of them. Watch the lights go out and away they go. Reeves getting the drop, as you might expect, the multiple world champion, number 77 on the Carl Cox Motorsport Yamaha, going through Gary Horspool and James Conlon, all getting a bit of a touch from Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosley, who have learned an awful lot of tricks on their world campaign this year. They are going very, very well indeed on the long outfit. On board with Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson now, and ahead of them their arch rivals Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood on the Quattro Plant JG Speedfit Kawasaki. Reeves, how many times have we seen Tim Reeves glance over that left shoulder ahead of Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde? There's Horspool going through, there's Simon Gilbert, everyone streaming through here. Brian Gray and Jason Pitt going past Rob Piggs and Jerome Schmitz. Their 600 Honda. Not the fastest bike here on the straight, the big straight down towards the Snake. They're doing about 140 miles an hour. Where these 600s, of course, will gain is on the corner speed. Reeves is on the 600. The lap record here standing at 141.525, held by Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood way back in 2015 with a big engine. Lapping in about 144, 145 at the moment. Peter O'Neill, you saw there briefly, the number 55. Todd Ellis, Chaz Richardson looking good. They're your race leaders. The battle for second, though, really alike. Gary Bryan, number 68, and Phil Hyde, third in the championship. You saw them in the table when they came here, but they are under pressure. We've seen Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood just get better and better on the JG Speedfit Quattro Plant Kawasaki as the season's unfolded, and we're looking at them now making a move for second place. Can they get round the outside? That's a brave move on a 600 against the 1000cc Kawasaki power that Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde have got, but round the outside of them go Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson. Look at these two, 600 Kawasaki versus 600cc Honda in the sunshine here at Assen. 2 races at Brands Hatch to wrap up the season and double points, and sitting on a straw bale somewhere out in the wilderness, the newly crowned champions Steve Kershaw and Stuart Clark, watching with dismay everyone else strut their stuff here. Reeves not getting away like we've seen him get away. These boys have all learned their stuff. Look at that on the back. Number 95, Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosley. Right behind Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson. Ricky Stevens then sizing up. Gary Bryan having a look through. If there's possibly a way through, then he's going to go for it. But you can see how the 1000cc pulls away, can't you? On the straights, once it gets going, it's away. This circuit with 6 left-hand bends, and we are racing in now to the Gert Timmer chicane. This is the scene of so many brave passing attempts in races past, both solo and sidecar, and I think this probably will be no exception. Out of the slipstream comes Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson right there behind the former double champions. Gary Horspool on the Sleaford Quality Foods Baker Plant Kawasaki. He and Jimmy Connell, 5th in the championship. A good solid season for them. They've done it on consistency, finishes, and several podiums along the way, not least of all Cabral Park. They seem to love the Lincolnshire circuit. Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosley, number 95, making, I think pretty much to say, a one-off appearance in the championship. They will be heading off to Oschersleben with Tim Reeves for next weekend for the concluding one race in the 2018 FIM World Championship. Gary Bryan, Phil Hyde, Ricky Stevens, Ryan Charlwood, Todd Ellis, Chaz Richardson, Lewis Blackstock, Paddy Rosny. That's how they shape up. The right-hander of the loop, we're at the double apex right-hander now. Round they go again, and then sprinting down to this second part of this bend. Reeves still with that commanding lead. We're on lap 3 then of 10. And this is where the battle is, and the crowd absolutely loving this. Look at the packed grandstand. When we come round to the Gert Timmer chicane, here we are going through that chicane now. Stevens, and this is where Gary Bryan is going to reclaim that second place. He does it on pure power and speed with the big engine. Stevens though up the inside into the bottom bend, Harbot. And now the second part of that bend, Madijk, they're at it now, then they swing right all the way round Ossenbrücken. This goes on and on and on, this right-hand bend, before the very tight left-hander of Strubel. Almost a hairpin. One of many lefts. 11 right-hand turns and 6 left-hand turns. Predominantly then a right-hand circuit, direction clockwise, obviously, as you can see. Blackstock has gone past. Blackstock then has gone past Todd Ellis. Still fighting these two, 600 versus 1,000. So Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde now they're filling in that 600cc sandwich. Right behind them they've got Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosley, Paddy as he prefers to be called. They're ahead of Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson. Well, these guys from the World Championship, as I said at the outset of this race, have really learned a few tricks on the world stage, and that's what happens when you run with the best in the world. And possibly the best sidecar racer in the world is out in front leading this race. When he gets to Oschersleben next weekend, he just has 1 point margin over Ben and Tom Birchall, who have declined to come here to Assen to prepare themselves for defence of their world title. And against all odds, they are in with a chance of reclaiming it. Or regaining it, should I say. Ellis goes past. Ellis then up to 4th place. Relegated to 5th, Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosley. Peter O'Neill there, Rob Biggs going underneath on the Taurus Tools Honda. Brian Wilson, the man behind that. Himself a sidecar racer, former sidecar racer, and probably will be again. Dean Nichols and Kenny Cole, number 11, on their 1000cc Kawasaki. They've had a good solid season. Look at the lead Tim Reeves has got over the Quattro Plum JG Speedfit Kawasaki. Stevens and Charlwood lead Bryan and Hyde. I was going to say these three seem to have shaken off Lewis Blackstock, but not a bit of it. He's still there in touch, he's still hanging on, and fancies a bit more, I think, of Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson. Second place in the championship for Ellis. He's been an absolute revelation this year. Such a young rider, so talented. And some of his body language and the way in which he's ridden the outfit has raised quite a few eyebrows with his obvious skill, and it's just amazing where this young man will go. Remains to be seen, but right now he's chasing Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde with Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood on lap 8 of 10, muscling their way round, but not much chance now of catching Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes on the Carl Cox Motorsport Yamaha. They are well up the road, but they'll be absolutely delighted that the engine's performed as well as it has. Oh, there's a spin for Mike Russell and Sean Parker, the True Heroes Racing duo. The team, of course, for disabled servicemen. And Mike Russell, of course, races a solo as well in the Ducati Performance Cup. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, just too much brake. Spun it gracefully round, and that's a very tough job for the passenger. They have to try and anticipate, is it going to roll, is it going to go backwards, but they've regained their composure, collected it all, engaged the forward gear, and they're off again. On board with Rob Biggs and Jerome Schmitz, going underneath Dean Nichols and Kenny Cole. Again, the superior speed on the corners of the 600. Honda proving to be good enough to get the better. But the power of the big Kawasaki flies past again as Dean Nichols twists the throttle and away down the straight. So this pair have had a really good scrap all race long. Dean Nichols sitting in a very good, creditable position. Not just in this race, but in the championship. But he's got no answer to that flying Honda of Rob Biggs as he cuts through once again on the inside. So this is going to go all the way to the wire, this battle, on the penultimate lap here. Dean Nichols wants a bit more of that action. And of course, on a couple of straights here, where that big engine will be pulling him along at 145 miles an hour, then he wants to use it. But Rob Biggs holding his own, I think, and it looks like he's got enough of a gap now here on the penultimate lap. So when they finish this one, once they're through the Gert Timmer chicane, we're back at the front with Ricky Stevens still under pressure from Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde, with Todd Ellis having been shaken off a little bit, and Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney even further back. Nip and tuck here again, back on the power goes Gary Bryan past the Quattroplant JG Speedfit Kawasaki of Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charles. They're going to fight back again. Up the inside they go. Oh, a bit of a touch. So Ricky Stevens has acquired some new track craft. He's had to ride that 600 hard to overcome the disadvantage in speed and power loss that the big ones have. But of course next year it will be a completely level playing field. Everybody will be on 600s. Oh, that's a spin. Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde got it wrong onto the grass. They got it sideways. The back wheel went out. They have dropped from second place to fourth. Ricky Stevens then promoted. Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes through the Gert Timmer chicane on the final lap. Over the line they go. Checkered flag for them. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. And in second place now, Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood. That last lap misdemeanor by Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde. Oh, there's more drama. They haven't got it right yet, so it's all gone to pieces. Oh, dear me. What is going on? Phil Hyde shakes his head. All got a bit excited there as the rest of them scream over. So that will have cost them dear. Race winners then. Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes. 17.5 minutes of racing here, but nowhere near Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood's lap record. They did a 1:44 and a bit, these boys, against a 1:44.5. There it is confirmed. 13 seconds the advantage at the finish, but it was a close run thing. Ellis almost grabbed second place. Blackstock, a good ride. Bryan finished fifth in the end. Guy, Gilbert, and the further down the order, Biggs and Nichols. You saw that battle raging for 11th and 12th. O'Neill and Griffin, good effort for them. Champagne moment for Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes in the sun at Assen.